Hello my friend, welcome to another adventure with Hannah. Today's video is sponsored by Policy Genius, which I thought was perfectly appropriate because I'm going to try to take you into an abandoned gold mine, which I think is probably a little bit hazardous. Hopefully I make it out in one piece. I spent most of the day driving today. It's pretty dark now. I think I'm going to set up camp. Not sure where I'm going to camp. It's a little bit crowded here, but once I find camp, I'm going to set up camp, and then tomorrow morning I'm going to get up, and by my calculations, it's a couple miles that way, I think. I just looked up some GPS coordinates and it actually took me to a dead end a couple miles that way. Looks like I've reached the end of the trail, and the coordinates led me to here, out in the middle of nowhere. Did some redirecting. I found this trail. I walked up a little bit today when I got here, and it's a little bit sketchy, I'm not gonna lie. As you can see, this is why I need to wait until tomorrow to take the trail, because as you go up the path, it gets narrower and narrower, and in a full-size rig, I'm a little bit concerned about it. Best to save it for tomorrow morning. It's gonna be a little bit challenging. So if you're into off-roading, make sure you stick around. But first, I think it's time to get snuggly and warm, so let's head inside. You know me, I'm always trying to show you a beautiful sunset. I have a full day tomorrow of off-roading, hiking, and exploring. But before that, I thought it would be the perfect time to talk a little bit about Policy Genius and life insurance. Policy Genius is America's leading online insurance marketplace. And if you have family that depends on you, you really should consider having life insurance. When's the last time somebody talked to you about life insurance? It's one of those things that you don't think about until you really need it. I got a life insurance policy using Policy Genius last year, and I found it super easy and fast. They walked me through the entire process, and it gave me the best rate I could find. I took out a lot of student loans in my name to earn my degree, but my parents had to co-sign on a large portion of them. I'm still in the process of paying them off, but if something were to happen to me, I wanted to make sure that my life insurance policy would provide enough money to pay off all of my student debt so my parents wouldn't be financially responsible. I use Policy Genius's simple and easy comparison tool that provides personalized quotes from top insurance companies. In fact, you can save 50% or more on life insurance by comparing quotes with Policy Genius. Life insurance is usually way more affordable than you think, and it's cheaper and less expensive when you lock in rates at a younger age. Maybe you do have a small life insurance policy through your job, but would it really be enough to cover your family if you weren't around or something happened to you? Right now, 3 of the largest insurance companies have dropped their prices for January, and you could save $1,300 or more per year by using Policy Genius to compare life insurance policy. So, visit policygenius.com/drhannah to shop the market and start saving today. If anything, this year has shown us that anything can happen to you at any time. It's really always better to be safe than sorry. I really hope that this information can be helpful to you and your family because no one ever taught me about life insurance, and I'm really glad that I got it in the end. And on that note, it's time to hit the sack. So I'll catch you tomorrow morning for an exciting adventure. Good morning. I hope you enjoyed that ride in because I certainly did. But I'm so glad I made it. I made it up to the top. I'm on the top of the world. And I'm pretty sure I have to hike all the way up to the top of that mountain. There's a switchback trail, so I think it's going to take a little while. Gotta get going.
The hike up took about an hour and a half, but it was well worth it. I didn't see any wildlife, no insects, no critters, no snakes, nothing.
So I'm about 2/3 of the way up, probably about 7,000 feet. This is definitely a hike, but I'm getting some good exercise, which I like to remind you out there. You don't always have to be spinning on a hamster wheel. You can go out and go on an adventure and you can still burn a bunch of calories and get your cardio up. But I just came across a bunch of quartz on the trail. It's beautiful. I think it's quartz. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a geologist. So if you know what this is, let me know down below. It is so beautiful. But it's time to keep going up. We're gonna leave the quartz behind. Okay. Onward. This has got to be the steepest and narrowest trail I've ever taken. One misstep and you're going tumbling. It's definitely a neck breaker. I'm not joking around. I can't imagine the daredevil that walked up and down this and decided they wanted to make a trail up here to the top of this mountain, thousands of feet above, and they're like, yeah, there might be some gold up here. This looks like a great idea. Crazy. Mind-boggling. I mean, it's a beautiful view, but I hope they found some gold.
From what I could find on this mine, it dates back as early as the mid-1800s and was mined up until the 1950s. It produced gold, silver, lead, and copper. And the trail that led up to the mine was for the workers and mules that helped haul ore and minerals that they found inside the mine.
If you can see below me what's left of an old cable car system, I'm sure they loaded cable cars full of what they mined inside and then processed it all the way down at the bottom. It's pretty incredible that what's left is still in okay condition. The cables still run all the way to the bottom. It's really cool. Would certainly be nice if I could take a shortcut down and just take a hanger instead of tumbling down the mountain when I go back down. That's okay, we're gonna hike. But let's go inside! So I finally reached the entrance to the mine and I'm basically at the top of a mountain. It's at least 7,000 to 8,000 feet up, maybe more, and I honestly can't remember the last time I was this high up. Probably when I was snowboarding. Too bad I can't snowboard down. Can't believe somebody built a mine into the side of a mountain this high up in the air. It's truly incredible. I'm excited to go inside. I love this kind of stuff. I have to be careful. We're gonna be careful. Are you gonna come in and join me, or are you gonna stay out there? Come on! So I'm right inside the entrance, and immediately you see two ways you can go. Which way should I go? I think I want to go straight because it looks the most clear. But I always asked, when you come to a fork in the road, which way do you go? Take the fork.
There was up to 750 ounces of gold mined here, 150 ounces of silver, over 650 pounds of copper, and around 3,800 pounds of lead.
Oh. Sometimes when you take the fork in the road, you find a dead end. Let's go a little bit deeper into the cave. No dead ends here. If you look, you can see all the different mineralizations. Quartz. I have no idea what some of this is, but it's still really cool to see. This hole is another dead end, so I'm not going to go back there. I don't know how well you can see. Up to the left, there's a tunnel that goes up and over, and there's actually a tunnel right here to the right as well. Or I could go straight. I think I'm going to keep it simple and just go straight. You could definitely go up. Maybe next time.
From just briefly exploring, I could tell there are multiple layers that are interconnected throughout the mountain. Very precariously, might I say, because many of the tunnels were inclined and sloped, not very organized.
Look how sketchy these pylons look. So old. And there's a nice little nail sticking out. How nice. Stay really low.
Some of the tunnels were very high, with clearances up to 6 or 7 feet, and others were very low, where I had to crouch or crawl.
Oh, jimmies stick everywhere. I probably won't go very far, actually, because this is like... Should I go that far? Dun, dun, dun. So through the crawl space I just took, this basically goes straight up. Not really sure that's very safe right now, so I'm gonna go back out and check out the other mine entrance I found outside. Okay, let's go check out the other entrance. Let's see where the second entrance goes.
This entrance, however, was much more closed off.
Oh, this is cool.
But many of the crawl spaces and doorways were quite small and opened up into large labyrinth-like spaces. This one was cool because it seemed to mirror the slope of the mountain. I'm not sure if you noticed these, but I believe all the red lines on the wall were markings of where the vein was in the rock. But I can't imagine crawling into these small spaces and spending all day chipping away at these rocks in basically the dark. This doorway here led back to the original tunnel that I had first entered.
So if I keep following this down, it actually goes to those upper tunnels that I talked about in the first entrance. The one that went up straight and up to the right. This was really just a big circle.
I went through 2 separate entrances to the mine, but I know there is at least one more entrance higher up on the mountain. From the research I found, the last entrance that I didn't enter has a lot of dangerous areas that ladder down further into the mine.
Be very careful not to touch or disturb any of the pylons, but this goes pretty far back. I'm gonna see if I can get a little bit further in, and then I'll use my GoPro.
I stayed pretty close to the entrance, and I didn't feel it was a good idea to travel by myself deeper in. Maybe I'll come back and explore further.
That's a huge piece of quartz. That's a huge piece of quartz. So much quartz. Unless I'm wrong, it might not be quartz, but I got up here. That's a bunch of rocks. It almost looks like that's caved in because I can see clearance. This is just another alcove. I've seen this blue color all throughout the mines. I don't know if it's a mineralized iron ore. Let me know if you know what it is down below. This mine is covered in it. It's really pretty too.
Throughout the mine, there were all of these beautiful colored veins of different minerals. It's so interesting learning about these old abandoned mines.
Well, I think I've reached the end of my first abandoned gold mine exploration. And I think it went pretty successfully, if I don't say so myself. I think I've reached the extent of the exploration that I can do by myself safely. Maybe I'll come back next time with company. And hopefully you enjoyed yourself because this is really interesting. I need to learn more about geology because it's amazing what you see inside these old caves. Thanks so much for joining me. Stay tuned and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss my next adventure.